Question 3 asks us to solve for x, and of course there's multiple different ways in which we can go about solving this. In the answer key, I believe the way they did it was by dividing both sides of this equation by 3 and then taking the square root to solve for x directly. But I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to expand the left side and move everything over to the same side, see if I can factor, and if I can't, use the formula we've been given. And so to start off with, I'm just going to rewrite this question. We have 3 times x plus 4 squared equals 20. And I'm going to expand x plus 4 squared, and then multiplying this in, get 3 times x squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 16 equals 20. And I'm going to combine my terms with x in it, so I get 4x plus 4x is 8x plus 16 equals 20. I'll multiply this 3 in, so that gives me 3x squared plus 24x plus 48. And now I'm going to subtract 20 on both sides to get everything on one side of the equation. That gives me 3x squared plus 24x plus 28 equals 0. And so looking at this, sorry, that's pretty messy. Looking at this doesn't look very easy to factor. So what we can do is use the quadratic formula and solve for x that way. And so the formula from your notes is x is equal to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, where a, b, and c are just the coefficients in this quadratic formula. So, all right, we can plug in what we know. I'm just going to move up here. We get x is equal to negative b in this case is 24 plus or minus, I'm just going to leave this as plus or minus right now, square root of b squared, so that's 24 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is 28. And that's over 2 times a, which is 3. Okay, so I'm just going to start simplifying this. We have negative 24 plus or minus square root. 24 squared is 576. And 4 times 3 times 28 is 336. And on the bottom, I have 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay, and if we subtract those numbers under the square root, we get 576 minus 336 is 240. There's 6. And now what we want to do is try to simplify this square root here. And so if we look at 240, we can split that up. We can say that the square root of 240 is equal to the square root of 16 times the square root of 15, because 15 times 16 is 240. And so this is nice because the square root of 16 ends up being a whole number. So we can say that this is Square root of 16 is 4, so we have 4 times root 15, and it's over 6. So now what we can do is all three of these numbers, 24, 4, and 6, are divisible by 2. So we can simplify this down to -12. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Keep that root 15 there, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's as much as we can simplify that term, and now we just, to figure out both values of x that are possible, we just split up this plus or minus here, so we get x1 is -12 plus 2 root 15 over 3, and x2 is -12 minus 2 root 15 over 3. And so those are the same answers that you should get no matter which way you do it. And that's the answers in the answer key as well, when they did it a different way. So these values for x are the correct answers for question 3.